All right, y'all, True Fiend TV, J2. Let's get right to it. Now, today we're going to do another installment of the movie Matrix, which is basically when I'm going to break down certain aspects of entertainment, or especially Hollywood, when they are addressing certain topics, right, that fit into the Matrix that we deal with. So today we're going to be talking about the correlation between Freddy Kruger from A Nightmare on Elm Street and Thanos, all right, out of the Marvel cinematic universe, right? Now, most of y'all who watching this, y'all already know who Thanos is. So I'm gonna give a little backdrop on Freddy Kruger, because some of y'all may or may not know, depending on how old you are, right? If you under 25, you may have heard of the character, but if you're in a movie buff or like a horror movie buff, you might not have really got into it. But that was something that was part of, like my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember watching the Nightmare on Elm Street, man, being scared, you know what I'm saying, when I was little, a little kid, you know what I'm saying, and then as you got older, because, they put the movies out, every so many years, so by the time you become a teenager and all that, it just become funny to you, you know what I'm saying, but it's like almost like folklore, you know what I'm saying, or like a pastime. Everybody know about Freddy Kruger and Jason and, the Michael Myers with Halloween and all that. They always had them kind of characters, right? So, I call this stuff the new scriptures, you know what I'm saying, because that's exactly what it is. And if you understand, you know I'm right, you know what I'm saying, in what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. If you just follow this platform over time, you're gonna be able to get that too. You're gonna see what I'm getting at with that. But basically what it is, just like if you think about the Bible right now, right? They put 66 books in the King James, but there's over 500 something manuscripts that was used, and certain stuff that wasn't used, stuff that was left off, whatever. This ain't a Bible video, but this is about some of these philosophies, right, and spiritual systems, because this is exactly what's going on here. These same people that was able to take power, this is their recreation of that. Whether you believe it or not, it's all right. As we go on, you're gonna start to see I'm exactly right with what I'm saying. So this ain't just me looking at movies and like, hey, this is cool, that's cool. No, certain movies make it into the scripture. You get what I'm saying? Certain movies are just movies. You get what I'm saying? But if you understand who owns and control Hollywood and the entertainment industry and the people who have a certain esoteric knowledge, you're gonna see certain patterns that's gonna keep resurfacing. You know what I'm saying? Some of the same stories are keep being told a different way. And the reason they do this is because it's all a part of universal law. You know what I'm saying? They have to show you and give you a representation of what's actually taking place and what they're actually doing. And then, because everything comes down to choice. It's always going to be choice if you allow certain things to happen in the world. You know what I'm saying? So they won't hold no debt behind that. So we're going to kind of get into that. But the first thing I want to do is this. So pretty much everybody know who Thanos is with the Marvel universe, but we're going to touch on him. First, I want to start with Freddy Kruger, because a lot of you may not know or might not be too familiar with the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So that's something that came out like I guess sometime in the 80s, late 80s or something like that. I don't know. But I remember seeing it first time when I was a little kid, man. Remember, it scared me, like the whole thing, you know what I'm saying, it was real creepy. Then you got older, when you get into your teenage years and all that, it became more fun, like a funny character. So we had Freddy Krueger, you had the Michael Myers from the Halloween, the Jason Voorhees, Texas Chainsaw Massacres, all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So we watched all that stuff, man, over and over again, because it wasn't like it is now, internet and all that, you watching the same movies. And anyways, so, alright, so like, the thing you got to understand about Freddy Krueger and Thanos is they actually are related. Okay, and who they relate to is what's key. You know what I'm saying? That's what you really got to understand. So them two characters together represent two brothers. You know what I'm saying? And two brothers from Greek mythology. And the two brothers is going to be Hypnos and Thanos. Thanunitis, or whatever the Greek word for it, but it's Thanos. So it's Hypnos and it's Thanos, right? Now, what you got to understand is Hypnos represented sleep, you know what I'm saying? And Thanos represents death, right? So you might have always heard the saying that like sleep is the cousin of death, but that's where that comes from. But the truth of it is sleep is the brother of death. They're actually twins. They twin brothers. They got slightly different personality traits though when you get into their scripture, you know what I'm saying, into the Greek mythos, right? but Freddy represented the dream world. So in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, what was happening was, so you ain't gotta get off this video. You can stay on this video. I'm just gonna give you a summary of it. So Freddy Kruger was a serial child harmer. You know what I'm saying? We can't say certain words on here, but he was doing that sort of thing, and nothing was ever happening with him. Nothing was ever happening with the police and all that kind of stuff, right? So the community took it on themselves. They was gonna hunt him down and get rid of him. So what they did was they hunted him down. They boxed him into like a factory. I think it was a house or a factory or something like that. And then he will never come out. So they set it on fire and they burned him alive. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when you look at the character, he got the scars and he got all that all over his face and everything like that. That's where that's coming from. They burned him alive, and that was how he began. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, a villain origin story, right? That's how it began. But he was birthed to fire. You know what I'm saying? And evil. You know what I'm saying? And wickedness. But he was already a wicked individual. We're gonna go into that. You know what I'm saying? He comes back into the dreams of anybody related to that original group. So mostly he tormented people in that town, in that community, but originally it was anybody that was related to that original group of children and parents. You know what I'm saying? And those were the people he would come back and torment. And what his ability was he could torment you once you fell asleep, and he could actually take your life in the dream world. If he takes your life in the dream world, then you no longer, you die in the real world, right? That's pretty much the theme of all the movies. The key with him was they would always try to pull him out of the dream world into the real world so they could fight him and they could kill him. You know what I'm saying? And that would happen in a lot of the movies. They would kill him, but of course he would come back in the next film. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? That he would come back when you kill him in the so-called real world. But when he kill you in the dream world, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of esoteric knowledge and teaching behind that. You know what I'm saying? And with Thanos, y'all know the story in the Marvel universe. He's sometimes I get them mixed up because I done read so much of this stuff. But on the TV show, you know what I'm saying, on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you got Thanos, and I think he a Titan on there. If I ain't mistaken, I think they got him as a Titan or whatever. And he he on the quest for the Infinity Stones, right? And what he's trying to do with the Infinity Stones is wipe out half of all life. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get rid of half of all life in the universe. But the way he wants to do it is through once he wields the power of all the stones, he's supposed to snap everybody out of existence. It's a painless death. Now that is directly from the Greek mythology, you know what I'm saying, of Thanos. Because what he represented, although he represents death, he also represents balance. But he represents death, he represents a peaceful death. You know what I'm saying? He didn't represent chaos. He had two sisters that was more into the war and the violent part of it. You know what I'm saying? But in the movie, they really did depict it right in the Marvel movie, but it's just the way most people interpret it is that he's this mad, crazy, fighting everybody dude, but he was only doing that to get to the stones. You know what I'm saying? He was very serious and very strict about his business. Well, his brother was more relaxed and more playful. That's Hypnos. And if you go back and watch the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Kruger stuff, he's always joking. You know what I'm saying? They made one Nightmare on Elm Street when they had another dude. He wasn't playing. It wasn't Robert Englund wasn't playing him. It was another dude was playing him. And they made him all serious and stuff. Most people didn't really like that because we remember him being a funny character. You know what I'm saying? He was always having fun with what he was doing. But that was that twin representation between him and his brother Thanos. But they both together would represented that kind of death because Hypnos would put you to sleep and Thanos would, get you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So you had the Hypno Thanos whole segment of the mythology, if you want to say it like that. With both of them, their mother is Nyx. Okay, so Nyx is one of the primordial gods. So she would have been one of the original creations, you know what I'm saying, from the creator before everything. Like, she comes from chaos, you know what I'm saying, which is, all right, so y'all know what chaos is. I don't want to go too far that way, but chaos is like a formless, it's everything, but it's no shape. It's like an oxymoron. it's something, but it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's everything and nothing at the same time. If you go into the Bible and the Genesis, when they talk about in the beginning the world was formless and shapeless or something like that, that's what they was talking about, was chaos. You get what I'm saying? This all ties together. And as we go into a lot of stuff over time, y'all are gonna be able to put this whole picture together. Like I said, I don't want to make a 5-hour thing on this. So, but anyway, she comes from chaos, but she is darkness. You know what I'm saying? She's darkness itself. She's got a brother, who she eventually bears fruit with or bears children with. Her brother, I think, Erebus. Now she's the mother of. Well, she had a lot of kids, but she's the mother of Hypnos and Thanos. All right, but she comes directly from the creator. If you get what I'm saying, she emerges one of the first creations. She's tied directly to the creator, right? If you go back into the Nightmare on Elm Streets, in one of them, they actually go to Freddy's origin story and they show who his mother was. So his mother was actually a nun. Okay, so his mother is a nun, which I know the nuns are basically the brides of Christ. You understand what I'm saying? They're supposed to be faithful to their husband, which is Christ, which is why they don't deal with men. You know what I'm saying, on that level or whatever. But she was created through an assault. You know what I'm saying, by multiple men. So she didn't even know who the father was or whatever. But that evil act created that. You know what I'm saying? Created that character of Freddy Kruger. You get what I'm saying? But his mother comes directly from being the bride of Christ, or being the partner to God. You get what I'm saying? Going back to the story again of Nyx coming directly from the creator. In all of the movies, the whole goal was to try to pull him out of the dream world and pull him into the so-called real world so that they could kill him. But the thing was, he would always come back. See, Freddy represented a lot of stuff. He represented karma. He represented the karma of the people who took his life, and he represented his own karma in a way because of what he dealt with. He represented the Osiris story as well, as far as the wheel of reincarnation. He constantly keeps coming back, but that's a part of his suffering. If you get what's going on with that. But right now, I'm just focusing on the relationship between, with him and Thanos. You know what I'm saying? So you can just kind of grab this concept, because you're gonna see this over and over in these movies. Like Hollywood, if y'all know Hollywood, the Holly tree, you probably heard this before, was what they would so-called make the magic wands with. You know what I'm saying? So when they make the magic wands to perform magic tricks and all of that, that's why they call that place Hollywood, because they're creating. And if y'all know, like the etymology with these words, like the abracadabra, as I speak, as I create. I mean, as I speak, I create. You know what I'm saying? Abracadabra, that's where that comes from. And waving the magic wands it's all spiritual alchemy. You know what I'm saying? They give it different names, witchcraft and this and that, whatever. But it's spiritual alchemy, and it's trying to shape and form something. You know what I'm saying? And we get a little deeper into their story. Like, see, Hypnos had the son, Morpheus. Now, y'all remember Morpheus from The Matrix, you know what I'm saying, and what his role was in the Matrix movie. But his father would be Hypnos. And what Hypnos, like I said, Hypnos would be able to put you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Now, Thanos will come in and delete you, but Hypnos puts you to sleep. Morpheus is actually able to go in and present himself into the dream world, and go into the dream world and be able to alter what's going on, and alter what people are seeing. You get what I'm saying? And alter what they're being able to experience in the dream world. We're gonna go a lot into the dream world and the subconscious mind and all of that kind of stuff on this platform. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into it. I just want to set kind of like a groundwork basis, you know what I'm saying, for y'all to get that it's way more to what you're seeing around you than what you're being told. And it's esoteric knowledge. It's for those who gonna take the time to learn it, basically. You know what I'm saying? You got to be worthy in a way to grasp and to pull in these concepts. Nobody's supposed to come out and really just tell you straight top to bottom what's going on, how it is, because number one, you wouldn't believe it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Even if you did understand it, you might not believe it because you don't really understand it. You know what I'm saying? And that's, if you go back to the Matrix, we'll probably get into the Matrix on another thing, probably quite a bit. Morpheus always was talking about how, like, they don't free a mind once it get past a certain age, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, because it's not fair to them, because basically saying it's just too much, you know what I'm saying, it's too much to take. So what I want to do is try to condense this stuff down into bite-sized pieces But this is why on this platform we might cover stuff in the entertainment industry. We might talk about entertainers and stuff like that, and then we might go into more deeper things, you know what I'm saying? Then also we're gonna talk about political stuff and just all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because this is all one understanding within this system, within this matrix. So remember some of these characters that we just talked about. I need y'all should go and watch those movies. Most of you have seen, you know, the Avengers stuff. Go back and watch the Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of them. I don't remember how many they made, but it's a lot of dope concepts in there. You know what I'm saying? Like they had one with the Dream Warriors, to where the people was actually able to gain control of their dreams. You know what I'm saying? I.e., lucid dreaming. You know what I'm saying? And being able to grasp everything that was taking place, so that they could fight Freddy in the dream world. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of concepts like that all throughout that series that lets you know that the people who are making these films, they have a certain knowledge, you know what I mean? But they can still make an entertaining product, you know, for the masses, but also they speak to these certain groups, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna get into the names and all that kind of stuff, probably get flagged or something. So, but y'all know who's who, you know what I'm saying? Who these groups are that people think don't exist. They do exist, you know what I'm saying? And the names can vary sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Certain names don't even matter no more, you know what I'm saying? They go by other things now, you know what I'm saying? But the teaching and the knowledge is still there. So that's what we got to learn to be able to do as well, you know what I'm saying? You gotta just lay this stuff out here. It's like opening doors, but you can't push nobody through the door. You gotta let them come through, you know what I'm saying? You gotta let them walk on their own. So man, it's a lot more I could get into with that, but like I said, it's already kind of went longer than I wanted to. But just understand that them two characters are tied together. Freddy Kruger and Thanos represent Hypnos. They represent Hypnos and Thanos, the twins, the two brothers who represent sleep and death. You know what I'm saying? And of course they make movies, so they add, you know, they take liberties, you know what I'm saying? They add stuff to it. But just grasp the overall concept. You know, if a lot of y'all know, if you got into the Marvel thing, that Thanos wasn't necessarily a bad guy. Like a lot of people like Thanos. You know what I'm saying? I liked him. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was a dope character, one of the best villains that I've seen too in a while. You know what I'm saying? Probably since just off the top of the head, probably since the Matrix itself. You know what I'm saying? The Matrix with Agent Smith and the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them kind of represented one character. That was a dope character. And then before that, I don't know, but that was a real good character because he had a lot of depth to him. You know what I'm saying? And man, the whole thing with the Soul Stone and all that, man, it's crazy. I could really go into a whole thing, because when you get into like their mother, Nyx, and you get into the worship of her in real life, the sacrifices that they was doing, and they was always sacrificing black animals. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to it, man. It's dope. But like I said, we'll get into some of that other stuff later. I just wanted to kind of set a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Give y'all something to look at, to kind of think about, and to start to get that creative mindset flowing, to open your mind up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So Nightmare on Elm Street, and of course Avengers, you know what I'm saying? Infinity Wars, Endgame, the whole cinematic universe with that, because they get into a lot of stuff too. We'll talk about them on other ones as well. But man, that's all I got for right now, bro. Appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you next time.